Hello. Happy full moon in Sagittarius. Um, you are watching the asynchronous version of the virtual moon circle. So I just had a moon circle, and we just went over some inner work things that I'm going to be sharing with you in this presentation. So, moon circle is really for anybody that wants to connect to the phases of the moon and the connection that it has for them in their life. I really see my connection with the moon as a way to help me reflect and better understand how to move forward in my life in a way that feels authentic. It just provides me good thinking and reflection space. So, I'm going to go through the part of the presentation that I think would be most helpful for anybody who is just logging on, wants a little information on the moon. So I'm going to go ahead and share this screen with you. Here we go. Okay, it is June 11th, and we have the strawberry moon in the sky. The strawberry moon is the indigenous name for this moon. It reached exactation, meaning it was the most potent uh, at midnight. So in on the Pacific coast, at least, that was at 12:44 a.m. This was at 3:44 a.m. for those of you on the East Coast um, of the U.S. anyway, just the U.S. continent. It was at 20 degrees Sagittarius and 39 minutes. So we're going to be talking about what that means, but we are dealing with some Sagittarius heavy themes, which are wonderful. We love Sagittarius energy. It is adventurous. It is taking action. It's full of leadership. It's a great adventurous, travel loving moon. So at this first point, you might want to pause on this prompt. It's best if you have maybe something to write with in front of you. So this first question, we are looking from Sunday through Wednesday. So we really feel the energy of the moon for 3 days before it reaches its peak energy and 3 days after. And of course, that's dependent on your personal sign and how you are affected by the moon. So, over the past 2 to 3 days, you probably noticed some big feelings come up. So, from Sunday through today, what are big feelings or big themes that you may have noticed in your life? Go ahead and pause if you are watching without me live. And if you are with me live, or once you have already paused this and are ready to move forward, um, for me, on Sunday, I was able to do my own first tie. So I tied a harness on myself. I took a shibari class. Um, and it was something that I have been wanting to do for most of my life. Like when I see myself at 55, being very knowledgeable and a true master or mistress of rope play and the erotic art of shibari. So that is something, so I would say like pleasure is something that has come up, which is such a Sagittarius theme. So I would say pleasure is like a big theme that has come up for my life. Impenetrable joy was one that I shared in Circle earlier. I just like feel so full of joy right now, and it feels like nobody can pop the balloon of my joy. It's like thick around me. And another big feeling that I have had is wonder. I feel like in constant amazement and awe of the things that are unfolding so magically. So those what I would say are my 2 to 3 big feelings for me. Yours will probably be different because, of course, you are experiencing other aspects of this moon than I am. So, um, what you'll probably really see is the beginning of the full moon. I usually notice um, Spiritual tests is the best way that I put it, but some people hate that phrasing. But for me, it's like spiritual tests, right? It's like your spirit wants this. Here you're being tested again. Do you still want this, right? Are you still going to sabotage yourself from these things? Or are you going to identify and allow clarity to come to you for what is stopping you and move forward? So, Wednesday, we probably reached the height of the peak energy for those tests. And then this is the release of the blessing, right? It's like you finally get to shed those final things and move forward and receive the blessing. And you'll probably see that energy waning through Saturday as we head into next week. So, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take you through a little meditation. So you can close your eyes. Um, Feel free, if you're in a group with other people and watching this, you can turn off your camera. This is a time for you to just breathe in and out as I guide you on a short meditation. So, again, close your eyes. I'm going to take you on a short meditation through your soul's garden. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath and release. For this next breath, try to expand and fill your lungs through every square inch of lung capacity you have. And release. All of it out of your lungs. And when you feel ready, you can return your breathing back to normal. Maybe as you listen to this meditation, you're outside and you feel the breeze on your skin or the warmth of the sun. And if you are inside listening, allow yourself to imagine yourself walking through your soul's garden. Take a few moments to allow the images to fade into your sight. Maybe you see trees come into focus, or maybe a bench is the first thing that fades into your line of vision. Maybe rows of vegetables and herbs. Maybe a bounty of blossoms and a beautiful wash of colors. As you walk through your soul's garden, you meditate momentarily on the feast of life that awaits you. This full moon guiding over us is a moon that foretells of the feast that comes from nurturing your crops and tending to the land and community. As you look upon your soul's garden from horizon to horizon, notice the abundance of colors in your sight. What is growing? What is ripening? Perhaps you see a particular plant from your garden that is in full bloom and in bounty, ripe for harvest. As you draw closer to see and taste of the fruit that it bears, you hear the blessing beyond its fruit. Whispers and gratitude for nurturing its life on your land. Perhaps a feeling or a word or a name for this blessing comes to mind as you listen. Perhaps the clarity is there for you to taste. Perhaps it is in the silence that you sense it. If there is a glimmer of awareness for the name of this blessing, you might find it helpful to whisper it to yourself, to hold the potency of its syllables on your lips. Breathe in the blessing. Breathe in the blessing and what it allows to bear fruit in your life. Take a moment to thank yourself for taking the time and energy to nurture this blessing. As you now seek towards its soil, where its roots are protected, you may notice the deadened brush or weeds or something removing or blocking energy from the treasure in your garden. If you can name something in the shade of your garden, perhaps you sigh it out, gifting that breath to the leaves of your garden. The weeds can be picked, the pests attended to, the roots renourished. After spending this moment in the shade of your harvest, you rise with new knowledge of your soul's garden and of its light and shady spaces. As you walk through your garden with some harvest you've picked lovingly for the feast of life that lies ahead, allow yourself to see. What images are conjured in this moment of peace and tranquility? Perhaps you see a moment in the distant future where a feast is your successful desire that you've nurtured lovingly. Perhaps a loved one emerges in your mind. Perhaps you smile at your pride in your tenacity and resiliency, like the treasure that lies in the heart of your soul's garden. As you come back, maybe allow your vision to flutter back into the space if you had your eyes closed. Um, if you were breathing deeply, Allow yourself to continue this deep breath as you come back to awareness and meet me here in this present moment. I have a couple of questions for you based on what you might have experienced in your own meditation. The first question is, what crop in your life have you noticed is coming to harvest during this transit? So again, over the past few days, what are things that you're noticing are coming into your vision as blessings, right? So this can be in your meditation, perhaps you saw an actual plant. If you did, I suggest looking up the symbolism of this plant. Somebody in our moon circle had come to um, eggplants. She saw eggplants. And so we talked about the ties to masculinity, the ties to fertility. Um, she is somebody who wants to plan to have a family, right? So um, it makes sense to see eggplants in her soul's garden, right? For somebody else, maybe you didn't, maybe you were filled with the sense of seeing beautiful blossoms in your garden, but you were drawn to a specific part of your life, right? So, my home is a place that I'm getting into focus right now. So for me, that's something that comes into my life. I mentioned pleasure as well, feeling a lot of joy, like impenetrable joy, right? So those things are other uh, metaphoric glimpses of what's coming into harvest in my life, right? The things that I want to do in this life and the community that I want to build is coming into focus. The way that my home is coming into focus. All of these are examples of crops that I've noticed are coming into harvest in my life. So at this time, maybe you want to write down a couple keywords that in your meditative state that you've seen as parts of your life that are coming to harvest. If you need more time, I would pause this video or move into the second question. Our third prompt, what weeds is or are suffocating or sabotaging your garden's harvest? So, for example, a toxic seed that is always planted in my soul's garden is self-doubt, right? Anybody who wants to be in leadership will always find a seed of self-doubt in their garden that they have to diligently weed, right? Another weed in my garden that blocks my garden's harvest, right? My joy. If we're talking about my harvest as being those things that I'm seeing emerge and fruit in my life, right? My community, um, my connection with the cosmos, um, connection with myself, physical pleasure, emotional pleasure, career pleasure. Pleasure in general is a key word that I'm harvesting right now. And one of the weeds that I did about 6 months ago, right? I identified this weed. So it is pleasing, basically people pleasing or pleasing others. Um, this is an example of a weed that suffocates my harvest, right? If I'm so worried about how I can please and take care of others, I lose that opportunity to please and take care of myself also. And oftentimes, what will please me and bring me pleasure will also bring pleasure to many others. So, whatever weeds you're identifying, take a moment to jot the name down. It's helpful to have a name. For if you have a name, then you can heal the thing. It's difficult to heal the thing if you don't have a name. So I have mine. Hopefully you have yours. If you need more time, I would pause this video. Or if you are ready to move forward with us, here are some major themes. So these might be examples of either moments of growth, right? So a weed that you might notice that on the other side of it is a blessing that you need to identify some pattern that's not serving you, right? So for example, I'm going to use joy because it's the first on the list, and this is one I have been feeling a lot lately. So for me, joy is a harvest in my garden. What's suffocating it is also joy, but it is the joy of others. So having to fill others' cups first, right? Bring them joy before I can experience joy. Both of those are themes that I'm uncovering, right? So I'm finding ways that like I can release, right? The full moon is all about release. It's a call from the cosmos to bring light to something in order to release it so that you can have more room for the things that are coming to harvest for you. Travel, right? I'm about to go on another trip, adventure. I'm going on a huge adventure for 2 weeks that's coming up. I'm going to be learning a lot. I have a lot of optimism about what's coming, right? Um, Community and compassion, key things, right? I need to have compassion for my community, which is why I do things like this, right? I set aside time to build something for my community that will hopefully help them have new beginnings, areas of growth that are more accessible, help them have deep and meaningful relationships with others, help them attain the harmony that they can have between humans and Mother Earth, have the philosophical exploration together through conversation. Um, Helping them see that the soil is fertile, right? That they are fertile soil for whatever it is that they wish to harvest, whatever fruits are about to ripen. May this help them water those and nourish those plants so that they do ripen, so that they can harvest, right? So I see how these themes are applying to my life. You might see these themes in different ways, right? You might be feeling optimism in a certain area of your life, and that is movement from your soul, right? It's movement medicine from your soul to move in the direction of what is bringing you optimism, what is bringing you joy. Um, so if there's certain themes here, I would write down a couple of the themes that maybe are really resonating with you today. If you need more time, go ahead and pause this video here. And if you're ready for the next part of this philosophical exploration, move forward with me because we're going to talk about something that when you get more into the nitty-gritty of astrology, it comes up, and we're going to talk about decans. And we'll be talking about this in future moon circles as well, but we're looking at leaving the second decan to the third. A decan is a set of 10 degrees. So every sign, every celestial body will move through 30 degrees of each sign. So with 20 degrees in Sagittarius, we are at the second decan. With 39 minutes, we are entering the third decan. So we're literally looking at this transition with this full moon, this transition from the second decan to the third decan. So this might look like restlessness, right? So a lot of us might be experiencing restlessness. We feel restless because we have these desires in our hearts, and maybe we haven't been pursuing them like we have wanted to, right? This full moon is probably shedding some light on why you're feeling restless or what is stopping you, right? Those weeds, what is suppressing you from moving forward. And then that third decan is picking up leadership. It's taking the risk. So, based on what you have seen in your experience over the past 2 or 3 days, where are you restless? Where are you seeking challenge? Where are you seeking to fill your life with those fulfilled goals and desires? And why aren't you taking the risk? That's what you're being asked. You're being asked, Where are those moments of leadership that you can stand in those shoes of leadership? What are the opportunities? Don't be afraid of getting the attention because you were born to receive it. You, in fact, would benefit from being in love with the act of receiving. If you can show yourself and shine bright, in which ways do you need to shine? That is the bridge that we're seeing here. So if any of those things resonate, write a couple of key words down, right? And that is because we are about to zoom in. So the purpose of this is really to help you gain a better understanding in your own reflection. So if you don't have this information yet, don't worry. You can come to a future moon circle and we can help you get this figured out. I use time passages to get, this is my birth chart. So what you're seeing on this slide is my birth chart. Um, and it would be helpful if you had yours because we are going to be looking in moon circles at wherever the focus sign is. So for this sign, we have a full moon in Sagittarius. We are looking right here. So on the example on the screen, you'll see this little arrow. This is a sign for Sagittarius. It is a fire sign, so that's why you see this red line. And we're looking at these pizza slices, right? All of these pizza slices are different signs and different houses. So my Sagittarius is between the third house and the fourth house. So I'm going to see what themes come up for the third and the fourth house. And that usually tells me where are my moments of resistance, right? Resistance is the spiritual test. That's another word I use for that. So where's the resistance that I can zoom in on and look at and be reflective about? Because some similar themes to the third and fourth house for me. For you, it will be different unless you are a Virgo rising. I'm Virgo rising, third and fourth house. So my blessings that are showing up are also going to come in that third and fourth house as well. So for me, wherever your houses are, you'll want to look at your house. But for the sake of my example, I have this third house here and the fourth house. So if you remember, I mentioned home is something that's coming into focus, community as home, setting roots for my community, and then being a voice and leadership in that community. All of those things are represented here in this movement under the full moon. So wherever your number was, right? So we're looking at that pizza slice number. So see where my 3 is and my 4. I don't have anything in this fourth house, right? But it is connected to Sagittarius in my chart. That's why we're looking at the third house and the fourth house. So for me, big blessings coming up in these areas, but also um, resistance or challenge, right? If I don't actually do create the thing won't exist, right? Which is connected to more of that Sagittarius energy of creation. So for you, you might find it is in the first house and you find that, you're starting something new or you have like maybe you're having some identity crisis where you're figuring something out like, do I actually like this thing or do I not like this, right? It might be in your house of finances, possessions, values. It could be in your fifth house where creativity, romance. They say children, but also it's like your inner child and your family that's within, also reflected without. It could be in your sixth house, which is daily routines, health, service to others. Also the way you interact with the world. It could be in your seventh house, eighth house, ninth house, 10th, 11th, 12th. These are different areas that you might find themes coming up for you. Um, so coming to Moon Circle allows us to really talk about those things and have more of that one-on-one conversation where we can talk about like if it's coming up in your eighth house, right? Intimacy might be transforming for you and under this full moon, taking a risk and trying a new thing, right? If you're into, if you're into, I don't know, comedy, right? You're into like exercising yourself creatively through comedy. Maybe you decide to go and explore that interest, right, with others. Maybe you experience some transformation that way. Maybe you experience new friendships that transform you, right? So that's why coming to Moon Circle is really helpful is you get to be in community because we all have blind spots. So what you might be able to notice, I might have as a blind spot, and I can't see that unless my brother or my sister points it out, right? And helps me see what might be unseeable to me. All right, let's talk about the connection to all of this. So you should have a paper that has like some of your answers. This is where you can fill that in and kind of come to an overall understanding, right? So what is ready to harvest in your life? Give it a word, give it a name. For me, again, I'm going to use the word pleasure. If I'm going to simplify it to one word, it's those things that are pleasing to me. It is pleasure in all ways, emotional pleasure, psychological pleasure, financial pleasure, um, sexual pleasure, erotic pleasure. It's all coming into harvest for me right now. What are the weeds, right? What are the things that are stopping me? Pleasing others, right? Putting myself last, is an example. Sagittarius house, what themes are emerging? Community, home, for me, for you, take a look at what house Sagittarius is in for you. What are the big feelings that are emerging? Again, my examples were impenetrable joy, pleasure, um, connectedness. I feel very connected. Wonder was another word I said. And then that decan bridge. So moving from that restlessness to your desires, what action steps do you need to take? What opportunities for leadership are there that you've been avoiding, but know that it's yours to pick up, right? So here's where we're finding that connection, and you're going to do that work. So that's not up to me, right? I can make examples all day, but it's really up to you. What are you noticing? What weeds are you picking? What harvest do you wish to taste? What themes are the cosmos pointing you to that hold medicine for you to reflect on? What are the big feelings that you're managing as you are navigating this transit? And again, how can you take action? How can you um, let something go and ground yourself in joy and leadership and whatever it is that is bringing you optimism? Pause here if you need to really digest this. This is where you are taking notes for you and really putting that relationship to the moon into practice. And when you feel ready, come with me to the next page because this is where you can design your own ritual release. Okay. So from the previous page, you should have a keyword or something to release. Um, Somebody in Moon Circle has the word stagnation. So she felt like everything was very stagnant, and she's coming into this transition of momentum where she's feeling like she has all this momentum to move forward, to create. And her blessing was creation. She wants energy that energy for creation and energy to create and creative life force. For me, my release is pleasing others, and my blessing is pleasure. So, whatever it is, take a moment to identify those things, whatever you're releasing and whatever blessing is bearing fruit. And you'll put them in. This is a ritual release. You can write this differently. This is just what I wrote for you. But if other words serve you better, feel free. I'm going to be taking this to the next part. If you're in San Diego, people will be joining us around a fire, and we are actually going to burn away the the things that we wish to release. So now I'm going to read this ritual release statement using my words that I gave as an example. You'll put your words here, of course. As our moon grants me the energy to release pleasing others, so I release it. As I have become aware that pleasing others does not serve my most joyful timeline, nor my most adventurous path. In its place, I create space for pleasure to fill my life. So, here are some different things that you can do alongside this ritual release. This is, again, a good place to like take a picture of this slide. This might be really helpful for you. You should have taken a picture already, but if not, pause. But we were doing a full moon beach burn. I'm so excited. So, here are some other things you could do to celebrate this full moon. And again, you have 2 to 3 more days where this moon energy is really potent in our sky. So, I like to make moon water. I am going to the beach to do my moon burn. So, I'm bringing a mason jar to fill with ocean water so I can use that in some spell work later this month and later this year. I'm also going to bring a couple crystals that I feel led to bring in charge in the moonlight. Um, these are just options that if something resonates for you, you can pick it up. And if not, leave it on the table. Ritual release. If I don't have a full-blown fire, I also sometimes take a moment with a candle. And as the candle burns, I write my intention on this, burn the candle, and as it burns, I watch that word burn away, right? And altar work as well. Maybe you have an altar at home, taking time to really reorganize it or put something new on it or organize the space. Those are also really good things to do under a full moon. And of course, there's many others. You could take a bath, right? Maybe you saw something grow in your plant in your soul's garden and you actually have that in your physical garden and you can pick that and bring it and have a beautiful moon bath. Maybe you do something like that. Wherever you are, I hope you celebrate this full moon and join us for the next full moon. Um, until the next full moon, I will send great and beautiful blessings to you for the new moon, which will be happening on June 25th. I will have another asynchronous video like this that you can watch. This energy is going to be most potent on the 25th, just after midnight if you're on the East Coast at 12:31, or if you're on the West Coast at 3:31 a.m. And it will be in Cancer. So I'll be talking about that more, but it's a delicious, juicy moon. So enjoy this fiery full moon right now, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful and blessed full moon.